American native SEO that I met, I think at like an SES Chicago, or he's from Chicago. Our Aaron Freeman is also coming out to be interviewed this morning at the hotel I'm staying at. Again, I appreciate all these people coming out to the hotel to save me time. I'm actually on a family. My wife and I are on a vacation, so it's really great for all these SEOs to come out and meet with me here at the hotel to save me time. And it's also amazing that my wife gave me a couple hours this morning to do these interviews since we're only here for like 2 days. In any event, Aaron Freeman, I've known him for a really long time now. He's at SimilarWeb. When he moved to Israel, I think he joined a bunch of other companies, including Flyblocks, Kahina. But now he's at SimilarWeb, which is an amazing data company. But I met him back when he was in Chicago doing SEO, and it was great. He's a great person, great personality, and I'm really looking forward to you all meeting him as well. Hey, it's sponsor time. You heard me talk about Ezoic before. They recently launched their Site Speed Accelerator, which instantly guarantees an 80+ Google page speed score, improving your website's UX and ranking. What you may not know about Ezoic is that they are primarily a technology for publishers. They're best known for helping content creators automate complex operations related to monetizing their content. The platform lets publishers create experiments that machine learning will then execute to help publishers increase ad revenue and balance user experience along the way. If you'd like to learn more about Ezoic, the Site Speed Accelerator, or their complete platform for publishers, you can visit www.ezoic.com. Aaron Freeman, thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me.
Awesome. We can't, again, just to clarify, we cannot talk about the hotel we're in, but we're in a hotel. It's actually getting dark outside.
It's a nice hotel.
It's funny, the week I go on vacation to Israel, it's like the first week it's like rained here in a year.
It's the worst rain. This has been downpours nonstop.
So I went to visit my mother who's buried here in the cemetery, and it was literally, you go at night, because I got here last night. Most people don't I tell people I went at night, and like the non-Jewish world, I mean, they think that you don't go to cemeteries at night, but here they go to cemeteries at night, I think.
They do everything at night.
Yeah, so I went to it, pouring rain in the cemetery, I was all muddy, I had like dead body mud all over me. But it was worth it. It was a great experience. And anyway, can you please tell people who you are?
My name's Aaron Friedman. I used to do SEO in the agency world. I now work more in digital marketing at SimilarWeb. I run the client services team in Tel Aviv.
Awesome. Thanks for coming out here again. I appreciate it.
Sure.
So we met back in, I think, 2009 or so at SMX East, as you reminded me.
Yeah, we had mutual friends also.
We just have mutual friends because my wife's from the Midwest.
That's
and
right.
Everybody from you're from Chicago, my wife's from St. Louis, and everybody from the Midwest knows each other.
Exactly.
That's how it works.
Because the Midwest is...
But if you live in New York, you know nobody in New York or anywhere else, which is weird. Or I'm just that type of person. I'm not good with names. I'm really bad with names.
You know my name.
I know your name. I printed your LinkedIn profile, so I know, of course I know you. I'm just joking. Anyway, so we were one of the few, I guess, orthodox Jews in the industry then?
Yeah, well, I remember when I showed up at SMX East and I met you, and I said, hey, let's go, you want to get a burger? And you're like, okay. So we went, I think we went to Wolf and Lamb. Actually, that was where we went, and that was where we always went, I think.
Well, yeah, it wasn't so far, right?
It was nice it was a little walk from the hotel.
Right.
I think we were at Sheridan.
I forget, it's changed so often. It's always in the Javits now, but I've been to Wolf and Lamb's a good place, a little place. Yeah. We recommend it. Give it a good Yelp review.
2 thumbs.
But now it's like Yelp's not happy with Google, so give it a good Google review and a Yelp review just to make Yelp happy.
Yes.
Anyway, so you worked in multiple agencies while in Chicago, I think, or maybe 1 or 2.
Yeah. So the first agency I worked in was Resolution Media, and at Resolution Media, I started just as a basic, entry-level SEO person. I didn't really know anything about SEO. I just sort of fell into it. And then after about 2.5 years, maybe closer to 3 years, I decided to leave and I went to Spark and I started their SEO practice there. And then we decided to move to Israel, and that kind of changed things up a little bit.
But that was your goal, right? To move to Israel, right?
It was always the goal. I always wanted to move here. I always set a plan with my wife. We said you're going to go in 5 years, and then we didn't really plan anything around it. And then when we got closer to the 5-year mark, we said, well, maybe we should probably go now. So we looked into things and we decided to move out here.
And you worked at numerous companies while in Israel?
Yeah, so I started working here, again, similar to what I was doing in the States, but I really wanted to work more in-house at a company, working in more of the high-tech scene here in Israel. And SimilarWeb was actually, where I am right now, is a really good fit for me because it's a marketing technology. So I started there as a solution engineer, and what I do is I work with the sales team to help them sell the product and explain the product. And solution engineering or pre-sales work is very common in lots of high-tech companies. I'd be very bad at it at any other company, just so because SimilarWeb's a marketing technology,
right.
That's why it works for me.
That's cool. So you went from an agency lifestyle to an in-house lifestyle, but not just an in-house. You're not working for like Target or Walmart. You're working for a company that a lot of their customers are in the search field.
Yeah, they're all very much in the search field, or I'd say even more in the digital marketing fields, because they're not just doing, they're not just looking at search data. They're looking at affiliate data. They're looking at display data, paid data. They're looking at social data, anything that exists, email even.
I always find it amazing, like looking at SimilarWeb data. I'm like, how do you know that? How do you know this? How do you know that? I mean, it's like you have like panels of data that you license and buy and
so we
steal.
Well, no, we don't steal.
Borrow.
They wouldn't be happy if.
No, I'm just
no. So we obviously don't do that. But we do have our global panel. We have the biggest global panel. And what we do is we aggregate that data to make what you have at SimilarWeb. And it's powerful data. Meaning when you can have that level of insights, it's very powerful. The things you can learn from it are just.
And we're talking that SEOs particularly could use that data in order to figure out content ideas and long-term strategies around content.
Yeah, one thing that I use it for often is when I look at our keyword data. So for example, back in the day when we were talking about this back in the day, I remember the days when Google would give us the keyword data, right?
Yeah.
All that they don't do that anymore, obviously, and so that's where SimilarWeb can solve that, or where any technology like that can solve that gap. We're able to get that data. But it changes things a little bit, because instead of looking at how you optimize a specific keyword on one page and how that's going to rank, you're looking at themes and you're looking at topics and you're looking at how the general public is interested in looking for something.
Right.
And that's going to give you a lot more insight into, and then as far as optimizing it, then you can tweak it, you can change it. But it's the sort of the longer term vision, or the broader vision of what users are looking for that interests me, and I think is more interesting in the SEO world anyway.
It's interesting, because a lot of back when you were in the SEO field doing the nitty-gritty SEO work, it was all about just like finding content ideas and writing somewhat okay content around that so you can rank for that content. Now, I'm not sure how involved you are in the SEO world these days, but it's a lot around it is like around making a whole, I guess, topic authority around a specific niche. So your content trends and topics, and understanding what the searcher around that keyword phrase wants, and giving a bigger picture around it, gives you a better idea how to create this hub of content around your topic. So not only do you have to write about topic X, but what are the other things related to topic X that are important for your readers to know about? And it seems like your, I guess, tools at SimilarWeb could uncover a lot of that information.
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot of Google had been, as far as Google, from as long as I've been here, Google has always been saying, or people have been preaching a lot. Google wants what's best for the user, or do what the user would want to do, and that's how you. And
Sure.
but in many ways, that's actually what's happening. That's the shift that's happened.
Yes.
Is that instead of optimizing for the specific keyword, and back in the day when you'd stuff in all the keywords in the title tag or the description, and now you're saying like find a theme, find a topic that you want, and optimize for that, and try to create real content,
Optimize for the user.
Yeah, exactly.
Users.
User first.
It was fun. I remember sitting at conferences and on stage with like different Googlers, and like they're always like saying, forget about us, the search engine, worry about the user. I'm like, forget about the user. What do we have to do to optimize for you? It was always like a joke, like, because the SEOs were like, I don't know if Google knew I was joking.
They didn't.
I don't know if but I was always joking
they
about
thought
that.
you were serious.
I'm like, forget about the user.
Scared.
We care about the algorithm. And I'm like, it was kind of like me being funny because like the algorithm is going after the user, and it's just the same thing.
Yeah. It
technically is the same thing. And
so it technically is the same thing. I mean, that's been sort of the philosophy. At least that's how I've always thought of. In many ways, I've always thought of search. That thing back in the day, I was probably I was maybe not good at it because of that, because I was always thinking about this, and everyone else was gaming it. Everyone else was better at it. But that is really how to think of it. That's how to get the best experience for the user, is what Google wants. And even if that means not necessary, and Google's smart now. I mean, they're much smart. I mean, they've always been smart, but so much smarter. You put in a keyword and they're like, oh wait, did you actually mean, you put in the color red, and they're like, oh wait, did you mean like blue? And you're like, actually I did. How did you know?
It's crazy, right? People think it's like some conspiracy theorist, like you're on Google and then you see this ad that you searched for like years ago.
Well, Facebook is worse about that.
Facebook is pretty crazy.
Facebook is like, I was just having a conversation with my wife in like in our little quiet room, which we don't actually have, but in a room where there's no, and all of a sudden Facebook's like, hey, did you want to buy this? And I'm like, get out of my head.
You know what's great about my profile? Google and Facebook have no clue what I really like, because I search on so many different things and I click on so many different things, because it makes, just to like, because of the field I'm in, I'm writing about a lot of the topics that I'm no interest in terms of like, oh, somebody searched for this query because they did a test on this and they want to see what it looks like. Right. So my search history means absolutely nothing.
You're all over the place.
And people actually pay big bucks to have people have companies mess around with like Facebook's data, so they can't put a pattern on these people.
I feel like even Facebook's going to pick up on that. They'll know. They will know eventually. Like they'll pick up on these things and they'll know what's
They could be
real
watching us right now. There's cameras all over this hotel.
What hotel is this again?
Can't say.
Okay.
Anyway, so now that you're obsessed about the user,
yeah.
How long should your title tag be in Google?
How long should So
should it be?
I mean,
54 characters, 102 characters.
So well, that's a good question. I'll tell you honestly.
It's an uncomfortable question.
It's a very uncomfortable question, and the truth is that when I started doing it, I think it was 71 characters, and then it changed to like 67 characters, and they were always playing with that number. But what started to happen even around that time was that we started to notice that when we put in a description or we put in a title tag, Google would just choose whatever one they wanted, and it didn't really make a difference. So honestly, whatever that length is, I don't think it matters, and I think Google's even said that.
Yeah, we should include Danny Sullivan's rant on this video, so I'll try to include that rant a little bit.
The size of snippets got larger and then smaller, and people are like, how long should they be? And we're like, as long as you want. And like, how long should they be? And we're like, as long as you want. And then it was like, well, our advice you said was they were this many characters. It's like, we never said that. And it's like, but you did say it. It's like, we literally never said it. And it would be like, why can't you just give us clarity? It's like, the clarity is there is no thing.
Right.
It's like, but that's not clarifying enough. It's like, but
yeah, I don't like the older SEO tactics and things like that. I just don't think that they matter the same way that they did. Like whether you're gonna, and I remember spending crazy amounts of time optimizing one title tag just to like say, well, if I take out the AND and I put in the ampersand instead, and I do this or I do that, like, or if I remove this, it was just crazy amounts of time for what seems like nothing very important. And nowadays, I don't think it's important at all, because Google will literally just change and do whatever they want.
Yeah, it's true. I don't know. I never got that. I've been like writing about SEO forever. I've never like sat there and like, how can I optimize this title? I guess my mind.
It was my first job.
No, but in my mind, I just think about how searchers will search for the content that I'm writing, not how Google will rank it, more about how are searchers going to try to find this piece of content.
Well, I did it. I didn't say I liked to do it or I agreed with it.
Yeah, I get it. I get it. In any event, I appreciate you taking the time to come out here.
Sure, thanks for having me.
How can people follow you, learn more about you, find out your social security number?
The social security number, ask Facebook. I'm sure they have it. Google might also. You can follow me on Twitter at Aaron Friedman. I'm mostly active on Instagram. That's where I post pictures, like social pictures with my kids and my dog.
Yeah.
My little rescue dog.
And you like to run a lot.
And I run a lot, yeah.
You run a lot.
I run and do other things.
I just never got into Instagram. I think it's because I just write a lot of content. I'm doing videos now.
Yeah. Well, so you can take snippets of this and put it on Instagram.
I can.
And then direct people somewhere else.
So then Facebook has more data about me.
Yeah, well.
And then Facebook's gonna think that I like running with dogs.
WhatsApp also. Well, they might.
They might think that.
And rescue dogs.
Rusty dogs. Who doesn't like rusty dogs? Anyway, thank you so much for doing this. I appreciate it.
Sure thing.